Want to do roll call, Mike?
Sam Bossum,
Here.
Cheryl Tucker,
Here?
Michael Serena, here. Sarah Collentine, Donna Knoxon,
Here.
Ryan Pacer.
Here.
Do we have any public comments on agenda items tonight? Okay. Do we have public comments on non-agenda items tonight? Nope. Okay, then we'll move on. Anyone have an amendments to the agenda tonight? Anyone see something that needed to be corrected or changed? Nope. All right. Everybody have a chance to read the meeting, minutes for the meeting? Last meeting?
The approval for the minutes?
Yep. Everybody have a chance to read it. I'm just making sure everybody had a chance, okay? Approval for the minutes?
I'm marked as here last month, and I was not here.
Okay. We
So
need
can
some
make that amendment,
corrections?
Yeah.
Okay. Corrections that Ryan wasn't there.
Was Sarah here?
There also probably should be a correction on who called the meeting to order.
either, I don't think.
She wasn't?
Sarah was not here, no. Sarah was also absent.
Well, oh, Sam, okay.
So there probably should be a correction on who called minutes to the meeting.
All right.
Other than that, we want an approval of, with those corrections put in.
We have, Brian just pointed out that Sam is listed as chair, and so are you. So you called the meeting to order?
I called the meeting.
Okay.
I took over chair last month
Yeah.
Okay.
after our election, so,
Well, then this
So
month
then-
also, it's
Yeah.
incorrect.
You have to just
Correct.
switch
Yeah.
those two.
Okay.
well, this is actually
Yeah.
June's meeting, and
Yeah.
then the meetings, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Ryan's now vice chair. She's now vice chair.
Oh, right.
Sam's become a peon again. He's just a regular
Try.
commissioner again.
I guess also, as of June 5th, the Park and Rec liaison wouldn't be Greg. I don't know if you just want to leave it empty, or, his last day was June 5th.
Correct. Yeah, I understand that. So you want to,
So it's
The
Park and
direct-
Recreation liaison, it says Director Gola. He wasn't here, though, so.
okay. Yeah, we
Just to
could, we
get
could, yeah,
the
Yeah.
people right for who was here.
correct. That should be blank for at the, you're right, he was not.
Table keeps coming on. Lots of adjustments. Okay.
Yeah, you need to go in the spot of vice chair now. Okay, so we're removing, let's get, so everybody's up to date. We're removing Director Regola from Park and Rec. He's on.
Switching
We're
you and
putting
Sam.
me in as Commissioner Chairperson. Putting Ryan as Commissioner Vice Chair. Secretary stays the same, we're good with Michael staying there. And then it would be roll call. It would be my name for chair.
Were you here last month, Sam?
And then approving the minutes.
Were you here last month? Okay. Sam wasn't at it.
Sam was here, yeah.
Okay.
And I believe you approved the minutes, that's where it came in. Effect, no. No, I did the roll call, so it would be my name for the roll call. Motion for approval. Claimant, I think that's it, unless anyone else found something else in the minutes farther on that needed to be corrected. Everything else should be good, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. If somebody wanted
Second.
to, for approval of the minutes then, with the corrections made?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as adjusted.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All approved?
Aye.
Okay. Any nays? Nope. Motion carries then. All right. Department staff update. We'll pass it off to the Recreation Division.
Okay. As promised, I have pool pass and pool information. This year, the pool has been open 43 days through the end of June. Last year, that was 35 days because we were not open for Memorial Day weekend. Swimmable days, this year, 27, last year, 29. But the ones that were swimmable were very, very, very swimmable because the weather was very warm. So our pool attendance at the gate this year, 6,039. Last year, 5,338. Jefferson Gate admission revenue, $28,861. Last year, $21,249. Total passes sold this year, 392. Last year through the end of June, 439. So, fewer passes, but more people coming, so that's good. Learn to swim, 178 people are registered, or were registered through June 30th. Last year, there was 150, so we're up 28 there. A group of people called the Villa Park Charities donated 65 swim fins and mesh bags for the Mariners swimmers ages 9 and up. They also donated an in-water platform so we can hold preschool swim lessons in the big pool. Jefferson is a great pool with all its 90-degree corners to have swim lessons in. You know, Lufkin had shallower water, so that worked out, but all of those curves were, if you asked any of the teachers, they would tell you that that was a bit problematic. So Jefferson has nice straight lines and 90-degree corners, but the pool is deeper. So in order to have swim lessons for younger kids, you need to put a platform in the water. You see that at, when they offer swim lessons at lap pools, because, you know, the lap pool's usually at least 4 feet deep. They'll put these platforms in so the kids can stand on the platform with their head above the water, hearing what the instructor is saying. So that is a really nice addition to the program, being able to do that in the main pool. Of course, I was nervous that, you know, what about the liner? Is it safe with the liner? And but we had Jim came over and checked it out, and I think he helped Sue assemble it and put it in. So it's good. The donation in total was $2,856.91. So very kind of them to donate to swimming. Usually it's, I believe their donations had been in the past team-related things, but that's just off the top of my head. I'm not I'm not sure. They're like angels, investing in recreation. Angel investors. Mariners swim team have won 3 dual meets and lost 4 this season. And those are essentially kind of practice meets and an opportunity for the swimmers to meet the minimum requirement in order to swim in A and B conference. B conference will be held Saturday, July 12th at Wooddale, and A conference will be held the 19th, July 19th at Carroll Stream. The Mariners' end of the season banquet and pool party will be held on Saturday, July 19th after A conference. This year, we had 89 registered Mariners for all of the age levels. Last year, we had 100. Year before that, we had 107. Year before that, we had 104. So we've been between 100 and maybe 115 over the last 10 or years or so. We were 11 short of 100 this year. Adults and seniors, through June 30th, 23 programs, 358 participants for the month of June. Last year, we had 17 programs, 334 participants. So more programs this year, and looks like a couple dozen more participants. Athletics, summer basketball is going now. I think I've reported on this before, but 86 people playing this summer, kids, 61 last year. We do have adult drop-in tennis and youth instructional tennis that are running every Monday and Wednesday at the tennis courts at Willowbrook. We also have adult co-rec volleyball, and we're getting 10-plus players for games every Thursday. That started when Women's Volleyball League ended. We were hoping, the thought was that we could get, more people out to use the building, but maybe then be able to appeal to the women who are playing in the co-rec that they might want to be a part of our league this upcoming fall. And then we'll be starting a new session of Sunday adult pickup co-rec basketball on July 13th. That's been going very well. It's early in the morning, and it's a great time to do that because it's not competing with anything else or any other gym time. Fitness. We have 8 new time slots for fitness orientations with a new trainer. We hired a new person so that we could split the orientation for the fitness center up. We started 4 new group fitness classes with new days and times to provide more opportunities for residents as well as members. Members get a discount on those classes. And then we've had 31 personal training 1-hour sessions that have been purchased since we started that, which was in March. So, and indoor yoga ended 7/7, and we'll pick back up in the fall. Yoga in the Park had 24 participants in the second session, so that's a good number. And they had to go inside a couple times too because of the weather. Day camp. Let's see, through 5 weeks of camp, 365 registrations compared to 258 last year. Revenue for those 365 registrations, $101,377. Last year's revenue was $70,660. Mini camp, that number is a little bit lower this year than last year, but we had a lot of children go from the mini camp option into junior adventure camp. So, which is why we're seeing that increased number and increased revenue. But this year with the minis, we have 115 to date. Last year we had 148 at the same time. Revenue this year is $20,124. Last year was $24,960. So just a quick snapshot for programs offered. In 2025, we've offered 707 programs. We've had 7,130 participants as a result of those. And revenue is $401,136. So 707 programs offered, 7,130 participants registered, revenue $401,136. In 2024, at the same time, we had 527 programs, 3,519 participants, $275,737. So you can see that there's a very nice increase from last year to this year. Going on to program updates, we had Summer Festival on June 21st, and it was hotter than hot.
Yep.
I mean, hot. So it directly affected the number of people that were out there. We sold 65 wristbands. And the previous several years, we had sold upwards 104, I think 107 and 124. So that's, 65 wristbands is $650. That makes a big difference. We didn't raise the fees. The fees have been the same. It's $10. The beer garden sale, gross sales, and I'm going to cross-check this, but if it's not exact, it's very close. $3,388. Last year it was $7,055. Wow. So, yeah. We did have 23 volunteers that helped by selling the wristbands and pouring in the beer garden. In terms of collecting money and making money drops, that was handled all by staff. So that's the Summer Festival information. The June concerts ended on June 26th. We had an attendance for those four, 2,050 attended, and we sold $1,560 worth of ice cream and those little glow necklaces and rings and so forth. Last year at this time, attendance was 1,250. This year it's 2,050. So the lightest night we had was the fourth Thursday in June. They were all very warm, but people came out. They came out, and there wasn't much green space those first 3 dates that you could see in Cortese. Memberships. So through June 30th, we had 1,504 paid memberships, 82 employee memberships, revenue $202,635. Nothing to compare that to. We didn't have any memberships last year. So it's an extra $200,000. This is exciting to me. We've had, in terms of visits, based on memberships, 24,849 visits over 177 days, which means we're averaging now 140 people per day just in the way of memberships. So this is 140 people per day. You've heard me say this before. You heard, probably all of us talk about it at some point. It's 140 people per day that are coming to the rec center that we weren't seeing when we were at the Iowa Community Center, because we didn't have, a fitness membership or open gym membership. The people that come daily, through June 30th, 2,564. Those are people who just come and pay like a daily fee. And that has added up in 6 months to $12,809. So, a lot of stats, but it's a good time to kind of be looking at that, because these are stats for 6 months. So it's kind of giving us an idea of where we're at, and we are starting the budget process early this year. And I think that's going to be helpful, going forward. And it's really nice to have 6 months under our belts before we start to budget for next year. So, I'm here if you have
I
questions.
got a few questions.
Okay?
The figures that you gave us are great, and it looks like we're ahead of the game. But is there anything, any report, like after staff is paid and after we pay the janitor and the clerks and everything, is there anything
Yeah,
that
so
will reflect that?
I'm going to be working on that with our new Director of Finance, and we need to just make sure that we're comparing apples to apples. So
So we
we're in the
kind
process of reviewing some reports right now to see if they make sense with what we submitted for budgets, because there was a couple little things that seem to be just needing adjustment. So I'll have to get back in touch with you. I can say, though, without really looking at that, these numbers are great, but, we are.
have insurance, employees, and
I
all
mean,
that.
we're
Lighting.
taking care of a building that's 38,000 square feet, which is about 14,000 bigger square feet than Iowa, right? And it's open longer hours. So, we're here during the week from 5:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. And when we were at Iowa, we were like, I think the earliest we had people in there was kids, maybe 7:30. But our full-time staff, for staffing the office, didn't start until 8:30. And here it's starting at 5:30. So that's 3 extra hours times 5 days, plus the Saturday and Sundays.
How was Memorial Day? I know that was kind of a trial again.
It was really, you mean at the pool?
Yeah. Was it worth it, or?
No. But, that was because of the weather.
No, I don't recall. Was it cold?
Oh, the weather was horrible.
It was cold.
It was cold. We were having a hard time, I say we, because, getting the water temperature, we were shooting for 75. And it wasn't until like right before we opened, I think, that your guys were able to, I don't know what they did, they pulled all-nighters or something, because the water was at 65 degrees. You can't swim in that.
So I was getting in the
I
low
don't touch my
40s
toe unless
overnight,
it's
so,
85.
Yeah, that's what you said, Leslie, but you didn't even,
like the hot tubs.
Yeah.
That youth swim program where there was some type of donation for like the 3 to 5, did
Oh,
a lot
yes.
of people sign up for
So
that?
we did, I'm glad you asked. We sold out. I think it was for 30 people. But we're not getting people to come consistently.
oh.
And-
okay.
What do you, like, not every week, or?
Yeah, like,
I
they,
tried to sign up and I couldn't. Yeah, it was sold out.
so we've,
Yeah.
we've got some kids that are signed up, and, this is sometimes, it's, when people don't pay anything for something, it's not really, like, they're not feeling, that they have to
Obligated to show
miss
up,
or
you
something.
mean?
I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure people had good reasons for that, but yes, it's sold out, but we're not getting everybody to come every week. So we need to talk to the county about that, because we're still paying instructors to be there. So
I
we're,
thought it was like a grant.
No,
it
they
was,
were
but
swim lessons,
it
weren't they?
is a grant, but you have to prove that you've met the requirements.
So you have to pay the instructor to be there because that's part of the requirement.
Yeah, and, if you have, even if you have 3 or 4 people showing up, you're not gonna
Decline them.
decline them. So we're gonna talk about it this week and see if we can't get some answers, because they wanted, you know, they wanted to make sure that the kids that signed up, I think it was 8 lessons, attended all 8 lessons.
And it was 2 a week, or?
No,
I think it was like 3 or 4 days a week, right?
it was, I think it might, you know what, I'm not sure. I don't want to guess. I can't remember exactly how many days per week it was. Because I took that, I had that in and I took it out because I wanted to get some more information before I had reported on it, because we're not getting a great,
It was 2 weeks long, right? If I remember.
I'm looking at,
I looked at the email because I was interested
protects,
in it, but it was sold out
10,
by the time that I got there.
Approved grant, offer 30 preschoolers, ages 3 to 5. Application, no, I don't have the amount, I don't have the schedule in here. Sorry.
And when they do yoga in the park and you have inclement weather, do you just go to the library or bring it back to the rec center?
I
or-
think they use the depot, the yoga in the park, a couple times.
Oh, okay.
They
'Cause
go
it's right-
inside the depot.
It's right there. I'm pretty sure.
That's all I got.
Anyone else have other questions?
You
Mike?
said, with Summerfest, that, have you ever thought of doing it over like multiple days? Or,
One day, Saturday, June 21st.
No, we said, have you thought about?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were asking me if it was over
Bad weather
multiple
day.
days. We have thought about it. We're a small staff, and it's, when the commission that was doing it, you know, all those volunteers did it for years, and they were just kind of, you know, out of gas and so forth, so they didn't want to do it anymore, so the village, you know, asked rec to handle it, which we're the obvious group. That was Friday night and all day Saturday, and it was, when you're talking the same group of people and needing to have, you know, you want staff handling money and not volunteers. When you get into those events that are more than one day, it's challenging,
okay.
so.
Or like multiple weekends, like one Saturday, then the next Saturday, same problem?
We have never discussed that.
Okay.
We can we haven't had our wrap-up meeting yet, because I don't have the information back from Euclid Beverage on how much of the money that the chamber spent is being refunded, because if we didn't, you know, open cases of product or tap the kegs, then we were able to return those. At the end of the night, like around probably 9:20, 9:30, we were out of, I think, Summer Shandy. And someone was getting ready to go in and tap the keg, and last call was 10 o'clock. And I said, oh, no. It took us a whole day to go through. We only changed kegs 3 times, which is very unusual.
It was really hot.
Yes, it was,
People just didn't come out.
it was
period.
unbelievably hot.
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, I remember I was there last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did return quite a bit. So I'm waiting to get the,
Is there a way that we could get, and I don't know the parameters of it, but maybe like have Moore do some, and maybe Standard Meadery do some of our drinks at the fests?
well, if,
You know, because they have the IPA beers and the specialty beers, which my generation doesn't drink, but, I mean, the younger generation
well,
drinks, and...
we did have, we had a couple of craft-like beers in addition to domestic beers. So we did have, plus we had what's the, what?
Brewfest is a good opportunity.
Oh, yeah, brew.
For
Yes.
those,
Yes.
those companies to
Yes.
have.
So, the point I was making is, the only revenue that we bring in for that is what happens in the beer garden and how many
Tickets,
wristbands.
bands you sell.
You know, so if we have other businesses come in to sell their stuff, then that wouldn't be a revenue producer to go towards the
But
event.
if you had like a fee though for them to come, you know.
Yeah, but,
and so I
okay,
get it,
just
yeah.
so, just,
Yeah.
I'm
Just
not
playing devil's
trying to be a
advocate there,
Debbie
yeah,
Downer,
yeah.
but Standard Meter is right there.
It is. People
They
just
don't
walk
need to
in.
pay a fee to come out because
Good.
they're right there and,
They just got to open their doors.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
On that note of Summerfest,
DeVoe.
if we only sold 65 wristband, like that didn't even cover our costs for like even close to it for the
No.
like. I've rented them before, so I know how much one costs. You know, like yeah. So
Yeah, we spent, I want to say around 6,000
yeah.
on those
So even in
attractions.
previous years, it's never made money.
No, it's not
Yeah.
a moneymaker.
Yeah.
Do they have ones that are water slides that we could do for next year? Because,
And then it will be cold.
well, I'm just saying, I mean, we're darned if we do and darned if we don't, but it
I
seems
know.
like every Summerfest I've ever been here, it's been a zillion degrees and
It's weird.
It's like
There's
the
a
third
part of
weekend-
me that wants to switch the Saturday again, but there's no way to know that. I mean, I certainly don't want to switch it to a rainy day.
It
Of
happened,
course, you can't, guess at that either.
when did it occur?
I'm sorry?
June 21st.
the third week of June.
We used to do it Father's Day.
Father's Day weekend.
We used to do it Father's Day weekend.
'Cause I was-
And I don't know why we did it Father's Day weekend, but we did. And, anybody who has plans with their dad, I mean, they're not going to just automatically come out. Plus, we have staff that have children and,
Can you move it up a weekend? Have you ever thought of moving it?
if I move it to the weekend before Father's Day, sometimes that's,
Graduation.
yeah, and the first week the pool's open.
Okay.
It's really, it's a tough
really
call.
iffy type of
It's
call.
very
I
easy,
just wondered, okay.
Brewfest, to do it the first Saturday in October is just perfect, and it's not bumping up against anything else, but, we live in the Midwest, and we really want to make full use out of, the summer months, and we
And
do.
If you moved it to July, would that be a conflict of other things? Is that
Yeah,
because the
we
pool's
talked
open?
about that, too.
Yeah, okay.
End of August?
Too close to Brewfest is, a month later.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
kids are going
Okay.
back to school
Plus,
mid-August.
we're asking for sponsorship, and now you have the events that close together. Some of the sponsors that would sponsor both might not sponsor both, with it being so close together.
Just seems like it's always gonna be hot now.
It's weird, it shouldn't be that hot, though. It's, something weird is
Did we
happening.
have the hose tents that day?
We had a misting tent.
We had a
yeah.
misting tent. Yeah, sorry.
It was going.
Yeah,
it was working good.
people were going in it.
For the June concert series?
Yes,
There's great attendance. That's
Awesome.
amazing,
yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else that we could offer them since there is such a big attendance there besides just ice cream? Have
Oh.
you guys thought about that?
The VFW sells food.
Okay, cool.
The VFW sells
Okay.
sandwiches.
Nice.
And also beverages.
Okay.
So we just do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We do ice cream just to have like something for kids to eat, we do popsicles and good humor stuff. But yeah, no, that the VFW seems to do well. There always seems to be a line there and.
When you're talking about doing things like, besides ice cream, do you sell, could we go souvenir type things?
We sell glow necklaces, glow rings, glow
Okay,
bracelets.
so we are doing the glow
Yeah,
stuff, okay.
They can
With
get
them.
ice cream or one of those. And actually, The glow stuff that you bend and it breaks inside and then it starts to glow, that is, you use that for a couple hours and then it's done. But we have some bracelets that actually take tiny little batteries, so when it runs out of flashy, you can just go to the store and buy batteries and put them in there. I try to tell people that when they walk up, to let them know that, the bracelets last longer, but usually, the kids are so excited, it's sort of hard to convince them why they could be better, because you can just replace the batteries.
You said we had 707 programs. Of those programs, were there more that didn't go?
More than what?
When you schedule programs,
Yeah.
you said we had 707 programs that actually went. Were there more programs that were planned that didn't go?
No, there were 707 total programs.
Total programs?
There were some that didn't go.
Okay.
I
So
don't know
was
that
just
number,
wondering.
but there's less in it in terms of a percentage. The percentage was higher the previous year of canceled programs.
Okay. So we're.
Don't know what the percentage is off the top of my head, I just can tell by how many are going.
Could you get that for us? Because I know a lot of people are still making comments that programs are being canceled, that they're ordering a lot, and I'm not seeing it, so I just kind of want,
People,
yes, people in general are saying that, they sign up for programs and then the programs are being canceled.
know who
Why
the
sign
people
up for
are?
them? No, offhand, I
Well,
could get you whatever it is.
you know what, to me, anybody that says something that won't stand behind what they're saying doesn't really have a lot of credibility as far as I'm concerned, but I will see if we can run
Just
a
run
report.
A report and see, now that we've got the building open, that's kind of a plus, that we know that more and more programs are going instead of being canceled. For, Iowa, we had the situation that they were saying, well, poor attendance, people didn't want to be in Iowa. Now we have this building. I just kind of want to say, yeah, we're making full use of every space in this building that we possibly can with
So,
all the
I mean,
programs that are going. I
Here's
know it's
something
going to
that you can
happen.
tell them.
Yeah,
Last year, through June 30th, we had 3,519 registrations
okay,
from January 1st till June 30th. This year, same 6 months, 7,130 registrations. So
Nice.
it's essentially doubled. We have
And those are-
double the participation.
okay. Those are programs only, Gina, not our fitness
Participants.
center?
Programs only,
Programs
not the
only.
fitness center.
Okay, so it's not
Programs
counting.
in open gym,
Okay,
yeah.
so it's basically the programs
It's programs, yeah, it's
themselves.
not memberships at all.
Not memberships, people coming in and out, okay. And
I mean,
my
we have fitness
understanding-
classes that weren't going before that
Oh, I know.
are going with quite a few people in
Yeah,
them now.
I'm just trying to back up that, hey, we're using the full facility of this rec center, and it's being filled to capacity. We know that.
I
but-
mean, we are only 6 months into it.
Right.
There is entirely more we can do. And we have an opportunity to increase, these numbers. I mean, my goal is to increase them enough that they find the money to, unfortunately, enclose the roof terrace and give me 2 more classrooms. Because that's the one thing that we're low on, is classroom space.
Okay,
So that would be a great achievement for everybody. But, it takes time, and
and when you said the platform, the swim lessons, is that platform taken in and out?
Yes.
Or- Okay, so it's in and then it's removed?
Yes.
And then it's put back in for, okay. So it's not something.
it's not
that-
in like during open swim. And
Well, I didn't know with, as you said, the liner taking it in and out,
No, it's,
what the effect of that was.
no, it's, what the feet of it are soft so that it doesn't hurt the liner.
Okay. And it's not huge enough that it's bulky to take in and out,
No,
I take it?
mm-mm.
Okay.
I think you could probably put like 15, maybe, kids on it. Maybe less, maybe 10, but still, it's still a help.
And I take it all the camps are in this building? The
They
reason-
are, for
The
now.
reason I'm asking that is because I have a gentleman that keeps coming here for fitness in the morning, and he calls me and says, the rec center is filled with kids running all over Creation, and I keep going, there's camp going on. It's not a
Not
babysitting
unusual.
service. It's not a babysitting service. We've got a beautiful day camp and mini camps
Yeah.
going on. You're seeing the kids,
They're seeing them
multiply
more
in the gym
because
and whatever
they're in
it
the
is.
gym.
Yeah.
They
they're
don't
in the
have a
gym.
classroom.
Right.
In the other building, they had a classroom that they could go back to for parts of the day. They're either in the gym or they're outside a little bit, but even that's a little challenging with the work that's being done, on the park. They
Are they
take a
being
bus to the
transported to the
pool
pool,
4
though?
days a week.
They're being transported to the pool, right?
Yep, 4
Okay.
days.
4 days a week, okay. Yeah, it was just like, yeah,
I would really like, when it's time to do Jefferson Pool, to add on to that bathhouse
okay.
with classrooms in it
That would be fun.
that can be used all year long.
They can't.
But they, have the day camp there, because then they're right by the
Good.
pool, they don't need to be bused.
That's nice.
Put that in the
Yeah.
thing.
I haven't looked this week. Fall brochure?
We're working on it,
Cool.
or second draft.
Nice.
Yeah.
When can we expect it?
It will be probably the very beginning of August.
Thanks.
The one other thing, you brought up the budget.
Yeah.
Last board meeting, they put a really bad spin on parks and rec about us being in deficit of their budget, and that they were,
Well,
Got it.
like I said, our numbers are really good, but,
Right.
it's not,
so it was a conversation, I take it you are having with the new financial director.
Not yet.
To find out because I know they said, they made a comment on the thing that they were going to be working with you on budgeting and finding the exact numbers of what
Yeah.
it was.
there's just not, I would say that there's not complete confidence that everything that they're seeing is exactly the way it's supposed to be. I think we're gonna find, I know for sure, we have to make some journal entries, because some things all of our account numbers changed, so I think some stuff was, maybe had a number or two off when it was paid for, or what have you. And so I want to make sure that all the money that's being spent is being spent from the right accounts, and, the money that's coming in is being deposited in the correct accounts.
Okay.
All comes down to
Yeah,
that.
I wanted to clarify that, because when I heard those numbers, I'm like, no. We're not. And they basically said, your budget was in deficit, and the rec budget was in deficit, and I'm like, wait a
Well,
minute.
Parks is all, I mean,
Has no
They
revenue.
never
don't have
knew
any
at all,
revenue.
I know, so,
Piece for the village.
yeah, I know,
Parks
it's
and
like, okay,
facilities,
how
so
did that come into
We
effect?
historically are not.
You don't have a
supported
budget,
by
it's
the
part of,
village
yeah,
budget.
right,
We don't
it's
have
part of the
revenue.
village budget, period. And so is the rec is actually under it doesn't have a separate budget, or does it?
they did, we did take some things and put it into the facility budget.
Well, I know there's a pool, I think, line item, no, it's a line item, I don't know if it's,
No. We have, we have summer programs, we have fall, winter, spring, we have programs, let's just say that.
Okay.
We have swimming, we have the facility that they swim in, and here at this facility, there are certain things that aren't included in the program budget. So instead of them just putting it in the administrative budget, they pulled out some expenditures for this building to pull it out separately.
okay.
And I don't have that information yet.
That's okay, it just came up at the board meeting, and I wanted to bring it up here, that you're trying to get it straightened out, because I know you said that they gave you new numbers, or new line item numbers or something somewhere.
No, they gave us some reports to review to make sure that they looked familiar with what we turned in for the calendar year '25 budget, because there were some discrepancies. So they're asking us to verify that.
Weren't there some code changes too? Numbers?
All the codes are different.
Change
Okay,
all.
so the
We have a
numbers did
different,
change.
there's a
Okay.
different accounting program that they're using, software that they're using, so, yes.
So there's quite possibility whatever numbers or code could be wrong too.
I mean, I don't think that we're doing so well that we're exceeding our expenditures. I would never say that, that's, It's
This
not
is not a
possible.
money, this is not a profit center.
correct. It's a rec center.
It's a rec center.
That's
So
getting a lot of people.
The plan, is that, because I remember talking about this, I don't know, a year and a half ago or something. We started talking about what I remember we talked about it, I thought, Greg said that, it was not meant to be profitable.
Correct.
Said the first 5 years. Wasn't the key
Well,
word
any-
like 5 years?
Any business doesn't,
Yeah.
they don't really, if they break
And
even.
established, they
Yeah,
break even
that-
up until 5 years.
Yeah,
So that was the, I mean, from what we understand, what we discussed, again, this was a long time ago, that the plan was that this, the new rec center would be, you would be losing money for the minimum of the first 5 years, and maybe even more, I thought, was the,
The goal was to be able to pay about, I think we were looking at between 50% of the cost for the first year, 50 to 70%. 70 was really on the high side.
so 6 months in, how much are you?
I don't
Covering.
have the answer to that question yet, because I don't have all of those reports yet, because.
Okay,
they-
that's the report you're talking about.
Yeah,
is it?
that's exactly what I'm
You'll figure it.
talking
Okay,
about.
yeah. I was curious, because against budget, I'm just trying to understand, just make me curious on,
Right.
'cause we had a plan, how close were we? Were we covering 20% or 70%?
Yeah,
I guess neither one of those extremes, but,
So, one thing I can tell you is that, I have it here. I think when we did the budget last year for revenue for programs and revenue for the building, I want to say that between the two, we were at like $840,000. Okay?
Okay.
And right now, we're at 600, about 600,000.
halfway through the year.
So, and we're halfway through the year, yeah. Knowing that the summer probably won't be as busy with memberships and so forth. So to me, I think we're on pace to hit that mark.
Assuming that memberships pick up when you can't play outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, though, when it was crummy weather, like cold and rainy weather, the building was definitely a lot lighter. So it's a funny thing, people might not want to come out in that, but also then when it's, sunny and dry. And then we were averaging 158 people. I don't know if you remember that, when we were giving that stat
Right.
in February and in March, and now we're at 140. So you can see that has changed.
Well, yeah, but there's also been, relatively nice weather. if
Yes.
not. So like sorry,
That's
when we
okay.
made the budget and said, okay, we're gonna cover 50% of the cost, hopefully more. Did you account for saying that means we would have X number of paying members?
Well, that's a hard thing to do, because we had to do that after the fact, because we had to wait to see what fees were going to be approved to charge people. So
Okay,
we didn't actually say we want X amount of memberships. We're
Okay.
looking for, if we want to cover 50% of what it's costing, that doesn't equate necessarily to, because, the money is coming in from memberships and from programs.
fair. Sorry.
Sorry,
go
I've
ahead.
taken up a lot of time, I
have a
apologize.
lot to talk
We had a
about,
lot
yeah.
of questions to ask. One more question, on the volleyball,
Uh-huh.
is that feasible that the volleyball might go better in the winter, or is that not really how it works?
So we
I know
tried
this
it,
was new.
we tried it because the Women's Volleyball League goes from September to May.
Okay,
And Thursday night, then when that ended, we had Thursday night open, so then we started doing the co-rec. So the reason why we hadn't tried it in a different part of the season is because we didn't have a consistent night with a consistent time until the women's volleyball ended. So
The only re-
that doesn't mean that we can't
Okay.
going forward, but at the time, we didn't. You know, we're trying to get it, we have to have all the younger kids for basketball. Even though we have access to the schools still, we always have them here because we can adjust the height of the hoops, and we can't do that in the schools.
Gotcha.
So we have to have multiple nights of basketball practice in the fall and winter.
Okay. I just wondered, because volleyball and basketball, but now we also have pickleball going on in our gym. So it's like, do we not have space to do that? Or,
No,
because
we have
usually
it. I
volleyball
mean,
and
we have-
basketball are like winter-type, fall to winter-type sports. So it's like, okay.
I would love to tell you that once the courts are done outside, then it will free up space inside, but I don't really believe that will happen.
Okay.
I think
So-
more people will be playing more pickleball.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Just one more.
Go ahead.
Are we getting enough people at 5:30?
In the morning? Yeah, we are.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it's
Seems like a good time then.
all the people that would like to exercise before work. I'll write that down. No, I'll come in with some numbers next time. Actually, we've been tracking every hour,
That would be great to
Nice.
see.
which is helpful to see with staffing and of the, you know, front desk and so forth, so. hold
That's
one
great, because I know we had to.
Second. Attendance by the hour.
That was a debate on, so that would be nice to know that, yes, we're filling the 5:30.
Gina, is there anything that we felt, now that we've got the building up and running, like, that we should be asking for in the next budget? Like, oh geez, we should have thought of this, or, you know, as far as equipment or things that you need, or, you know, maybe things for the kitchen, or just,
We've
things
had a
that
couple
you-
of, oh geez, I didn't think about this.
right,
But it's all been things that were easily modified. It wasn't like
Something-
any big ticket items that, no, what we need is,
incidental versus,
no, we need more classroom space so we can do more programs.
Okay.
But, you know, we need to prove ourselves first, I'm sure. And I understand that. But in terms of equipment, I mean, you know, we brought some of it over, some of it was really old and, you know, not in good shape, so we had to buy some new things. And even in the fitness center, we had some of our members that requested some things that we didn't have, but they weren't like super expensive, so we were able to add
accommodate.
that to the center. But I'm going to meet with the rec staff, and I think probably 2 weeks, we'll have a budget meeting to talk
Okay.
about, you know, the dream list, you know. what
Wish
we-
list?
Wish lists,
We'd
yeah.
like to hear the wish list?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay,
Got a short report?
okay,
Real quick.
okay. Go ahead, Brian. Well, let's hear your
All
your
right,
report.
thank you. Some current completed park facility projects. Over at Village Hall, the elevator modernization project proceeds. TK Elevator was out. They did the final survey of the elevator with us. We've also processed and sent them the initial payment, which I believe they've received. We're just waiting for confirmation that they processed the check. Once they do that, they'll release everything for fabrication, and our clock will essentially start. So we'll start getting updates on the timeline for that. They were also able to provide us with a contact for some temporary access to Village Hall. So we'll try to set up a temporary lift or something to get people in and out of Village Hall while the elevator side is down for that month or so. Fire station improvements, bids were received and opened for the abatement work at the Iowa Community Center. The low bidder parent low bidder came in roughly $86,000, which was about half of our estimate, which immediately rose a few questions, and figured it out, but everything was vetted, and we talked to the company, and all seems fine, so we're proceeding with that. We also received an open bids for the ICC temporary fire station and Station 81 improvements, which also came in pretty well under, so far so good. All of that, though, goes to the village board meeting on Monday for approval. So if that is all approved on Monday, the abatement work would start about 2 weeks after Monday. They have to give a mandatory 10-day notification to the state before they can do any work. Once that's started, about early mid-August, they'd be done, and then jump right into the construction project over at Iowa. So we shall see. We'll know more after Monday. Lufkin Park, we continue to work and make improvements over there. We did crack filling, seal coating, and striping again of the parking lot over there. Staff have started excavating to install the butterfly gardens. The 2 garden sections that we've set up over there to do, we're going to put like a nice pavered border around them. So that was the excavation, and then they're going to start installing the paver stones around them. We'll then add a bunch of nice soil to them and plant material, probably in the fall. Material for the butterfly gardens will probably be similar to the ones behind the depot over here. We'll add some similar plants. It'll also kind of correlate with the sign that's out there for butterfly gardens and stuff. So, I scheduled some initial on-site meetings with the homes around Lufkin Park starting tomorrow. A meeting with the residents to discuss the planted screenings. It's probably going to take me, I'm trying to do a day a week, but a few weeks here in July to try to finally meet with all of the homes that have responded yes. I won't meet with you, Donna, because I know you said no.
Don't even ring the bell. I'm a no.
A few weeks then. Once we have all the info from meeting with everyone, next steps would be to create a landscape design plan, incorporating all the intended screenings and anything else that exists in the park. And know the park is tree and shrub wise is pretty different from where it started before the project, just due to the pond and everything. So we'll put a landscape design plan back together that we can then share with the residents and just every resident, so they know what we intend and what the park is. We'd look to hopefully start the installs of the screenings about fall this year. So it may be a fall, maybe a fall, spring, depending on how everything works out. So. Playground mulch is being installed in playgrounds all around town, starting today. So you should see, I think they started along the Prairie Path this morning, and they're working their way around town. So you may see Three Oaks Ground Cover, I think is the company we use this time. You may see their vehicles and equipment out working to get that done. So a couple of days this week they should have it done. So. Update on Lions Park. I know that's what you've been waiting for, yeah. So the asphalt paving of the courts is done. Install of all the playground equipment is completed. The shelter is completed. Roughly 95% of all the concrete work is done. Senior pergolas and items over in this area are installed. We've talked with the company who's working on it. Based on their initial schedule that they had, they are a few weeks behind schedule. We discussed some of the issues and things like that with them, kind of went over some stuff. They provided us with an updated project schedule. So that schedule is the pour-in-place playground surfacing, which I don't know if you saw it all or not. So that is to be completed this week, which I was actually out there earlier today, and it may have been done today. So they got through most of it. Looks nice. There's butterflies out there. It's very nice. The fence work, there's some fencing around the playground and then sport courts. Fence work is to be completed by the end of next week. There is stamped concrete here in the senior area that is going to be done by the end of this week. Pickleball sleeves and nets are to be installed early next week. Basketball hoops are going to be installed the middle of next week. Shade structures will be installed by the end of next week. Excavation and drain pipe for detention ponds. There's on the far northeast end of the park, there's a small detention area for the stormwater that we needed to capture for the rest of the park. So that they're going to excavate and do that work by the end of the week of July 21st. Site furnishings, which is the benches, trash cans, picnic tables, game tables, things like that, be installed early the week of July 21st. Color coding of the sport courts is going to be done the last week in July. Once they did the initial paving, it has to sit for so long before they will color the courts, so. And that should do it. I asked them the question if that completes the project, is that them telling us that they intend to be overdone and completed by the end of July, and they said yes. So that is the hope now. So we'll
Keep moving this table.
confirm some of this as we progress here, but then we'll try to evaluate a proper grand opening for the park when we get a little closer, and we'll let everyone know. So the schedule that I just read here, we've also shared with our public information officer, which Riley is on maternity leave right now. Lily is the one who's in the place, so we shared that, so it'll be updated on the village website too. Yeah. Upcoming projects, the Lions Park baseball fields. We had a few more meetings with Upland Design, Community Development, Public Works. We're working to finalize the design, layout, and address and review any potential issues that we might have. As it is right now, we met again earlier today, but we're 95% through construction documents, which is pretty close to submitting for permit. So hopefully they'll, in the next couple of weeks, we'll finalize anything here and then submit for a permit. Once we get into permit and approved, we'll work to get contractor proposals and then start discussing timelines and things like that. But I think the hope for the project is to do what we can before the end of this year and then continue and complete in the spring of '26. That's all I have.
What was the reason for the delay for the park for,
Some of it is weather related. They had a few issues with that, and when you miss a couple of days, depending on what the site looks like after rain, if it's washed out and stuff, it kind of slows. I think some of it too, they take on some other projects sometimes, so if they're doing, schools are big in the summertime.
Yeah.
So we push them really hard to stay on track with our project.
Yeah.
And then, the rain and other factors throw them off, so then, if they miss 3 days due to weather here, then they end up,
Yeah.
sticking somewhere else for the remaining days. So we're pushing them as hard as we can, and we've got the schedule from them now, so we're doing all we can to hold them to the new schedule now, so.
Any other questions? Donna?
The tree plantings, is there a maximum they can have? Like, someone may want their whole yard totally
So I didn't.
bare, do we limit them at 3 or can they have 30?
I think as it starts with us meeting out there, I think I'm open to talking with everybody and seeing what that is. I've had a few initial conversations, and some people want, they only want 2 of this thing. That's fine.
Right.
Some people have asked, what can I do? Some people want help in kind of deciding. I haven't heard any of that, like where someone wants to just totally block off their backyard. But again, I'm not going out to judge anything. I just want to find out what people are
Kind of
interested in.
get a gauge of what's going.
Yeah.
And then you said the butterfly location, where's that gonna be in the park?
So one is just off the, what is that, the west side of the parking lot. There's like a sign right there, you know where the siren pole is?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a kind of a bed there as you walk in, so we're gonna box that out kind of over there. It
Okay.
kind of fills up by the hill where that little thing is, where
Shelter.
the interpretive,
Oh, the sound garden.
yes.
Yes.
Where that is. So it'll be kind of in that, and then if you entered the path from the parking lot, went a little further, there's like a little island space of green between where the paths
Between the shelter
turn.
and where the path is
Yeah,
a
if you go-
circle?
The one
Yeah.
way goes to the performance shelter, the other way goes around the pond. That little triangle space in there, I say little, but it's a good-sized triangle space in there is also going to have the butterfly plants in there.
And then you said that they were getting game tables here. When you talk game tables, are they like chess and checker tables?
Yeah.
Is there a potential that we can buy them in bulk and get some at Lufkin?
We could add them over there, yeah. We'd have to find.
I think that, like under a tree, that would be great. But I don't know, with the butterfly gardens and everything else you got going on, if that's even feasible.
We could look to do something like, look for locations and add something possibly next year or something like that, yeah.
And then, the real hot topic has been scooters on the Prairie Path. Once we enact what our ordinance is, will the county put out signs that scooters are not allowed, or e-bikes, or what type are allowed? I mean,
So this has been it sounds like a hot topic for a while. I think the police department has been actively working on this really hard, so working with the county and other departments, so I can't say as to what may be
yeah, I
happening
just
or
kind
what
of
they're
wanted
going
to
to
put it
do.
on the radar to say, are we gonna have to put up the signs, or being that we only own so much up to the Prairie Path, if we are responsible for putting up the signage once we have an ordinance?
I'm not sure yet.
Or does the county have an ordinance where they should have the signs up already?
Yeah, I think the police department is working with different organizations to figure all of that out, and what we can and can't do, so.
I read that there are certain types of electric
Yeah.
bikes and so forth that are legal on the Prairie Path.
And
I
the
don't-
police- I'm sorry, the Prairie Path does have a speed limit too.
Right,
That's the thing.
Right.
and typically with a bicycle, even one that has electric where you don't have to necessarily pedal, you stay under that speed.
Yeah, that's the issue, is if you're going over it.
They're-
From my understanding.
They're
Yeah.
very actively working on it, more actively than I think they would like, but they're on it very much.
At Lufkin, I know that the pond is with the county, right? Like, they take care of that.
For the first 3 years.
Okay. Do they like contact you, or do you contact, like, I've just noticed some like plants floating like in plastic containers, like around the little peninsula.
In the pond?
Yeah, like, I know that their roots are trying to establish, so I just wasn't sure if like they come out and like periodically check or give you updates, or if you're supposed to be communicating with them.
Weren't they just here?
They were out
I-
this summer already, I seen
Yeah,
them
okay,
once.
okay.
We put something on the website when they were out, but it was
okay.
maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
They were out and they put plugs in the bottom of the pond.
Okay, cool, all right. I just noticed it, and I was like, I don't know if we're
Well,
supposed to tell them.
half the
or they-
battle
yeah.
is they have those, if you ever notice, they have those stakes up and everyone's
Oh,
like, oh my
yeah.
God, that looks ugly. Well, it's to keep the ducks from getting in
Eating,
there
yeah.
and eating.
Yeah. And I know the roots have to establish and everything. I just wasn't sure what the line of communication was.
They're usually pretty good.
Okay,
They let us
cool.
know in advance when they were coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have a company that manages the native areas, and
Yeah.
they're usually out once a week or once every other week. You'll see like a van come out.
Perfect.
They don't always let us know when they're coming out. I think they just come out to do their maintenance and they kind of go back and forth.
Well, and there's no unbalance of frogs back there. I can tell
Oh,
you that much.
really?
Yes.
Are they loud?
Oh, they're great.
Nice. I haven't heard them yet.
In the summer, they're great to have the windows open. They'll put you to sleep.
Anyone else? Is High Ridge done?
The
Because
baseball
on
field?
the ball field, yeah.
Yeah.
The Highwoods ball field, okay, because I know you were working on coordinating repairs and improvement of the irrigation system.
Oh, I'm sorry, no.
And
the-
with and you were working with, I know, the Villa Park Youth Baseball on some points on that.
The work with
Park.
youth baseball is completed. I've submitted the PO, for the PO to complete the irrigation work. I'm waiting for it to be approved so we can move forward with that contract.
Okay, so that one's still, it was nice. I was at that ball field. It's
Oh, yeah,
beautiful out
it's a
there.
nice field,
It was a beautiful field and perfect night for ball games on playing, so didn't know where that was at on that. And then, did you mention the final paperwork for the grant for the rec center? I know that was on the agenda. You were updating, getting all the,
I think we,
I think
everything's
Bill
been
did that
done.
before he left.
yeah, he submitted, I think we got the final notice that we're working to clear the $10 million.
okay,
So I think everything that we needed, I think, should be submitted. I know Zarata's been working to finalize a few things for like, a few final documents, but I think everything should be in now that we needed to complete this.
okay, so you have that all. So hopefully the village will be seeing that funding soon,
hope
whatever
so,
it
yeah.
is. Okay, because I know we were trying to finalize all that, and I didn't know if it got all finished or not. All right. No other questions? Is there any unfinished business we need to discuss? No? How about new business? Do we have an update yet on when we will have our new director?
July 21st,
July 23rd?
first.
July 21st, okay. So we expect to see his face, right?
His face. Probably the rest of them, too.
I'm sorry?
His face and his hands and
Oh, yeah, the rest of his body? Sorry, yes.
the whole thing. We're getting the whole package.
You get
We're
the
not
whole
just-
package there? Okay. And that's supposedly July 21st? Then we'll see.
Yes, that's what I understand to be his first day.
He will start on July 21.
Who's the new director?
His name is Tim Howe?
Tim Howe, he's from Buffalo Grove Park District.
Smaller or larger?
Larger,
Large.
Yeah.
lots of money.
And then you already followed when the fall brochure was coming up, because there
Yep.
was a discussion on that. And then you said that in 2 weeks, you're going to have a meeting with the staff
Yep.
on the update on the budget ideas and the wish list. So that was on last month. So any other things that we need to discuss for new business that came up? Okay. Commissioners' comments. I will start with Mike. Do you have any comments tonight, Mike?
I was gonna say, if this is the last, another great meeting.
Good job.
I think we had a productive meeting and hope everyone enjoys the rest of their summer.
Donna?
I had to write this down because I knew I would get my thoughts all jumbled.
Okay.
Things I wanted to reflect on, being interested and on the commission over the years, as being strictly advisory and not doing operational tasks. I just started writing down a few things that I know we've been a part of in the last few years that doesn't always get seen, that's behind the scenes. But we've done a feasibility study. We did the input meetings for Lufkin and the rec center. Not one, but we did several of them. We did online surveys over the years for feedback and input to make sure that our residents were involved. We encouraged grant applications even when we thought, oh God, we're never gonna get another grant. Whoever was the manager at the time wouldn't allow it, but we encouraged it. We did the input for pool fees. We investigated, gathered information, compiled information from what we'd seen in other rec centers so that we knew that we'd be on par and be able to align with other villages. We made sure that we were up with the comprehensive plan. We were always thinking of new ideas to bring forth, whether it was programs or events. We brought forth equipment that potentially be used and implemented in our parks to differentiate us from others. Additionally, some other commissioners volunteered at other events, not only as a commissioner, but as events held by Parks and Rec. Keep in mind, we also played a huge role in Lufkin and the Rec Center. And that's just a few of the several things. Some of us have been here longer than others, but I want you to keep in mind, we've all played a key role in the Parks and Rec's success. And I just want you to know that.
Thanks, Donna.
Sam?
Yeah, just, it's kind of a moment of uncertainty for us. But just thank everyone for being here throughout the years and kind of just working to make the village a better place in our little way. And thank you for letting me be part of it.
I mean, kind of just echoing what the other three said, and thanks for, inviting me to join the board, and, yeah, hope that we get to do this again next month. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm just, yeah. I'm small in words in this, but if whatever happens, I'm proud to have been part of this for actually over 15 years. I started counting, and in and out. But I'm proud of the fact that we managed to get all the parks done in that time period. We had a big goal that we started out, and we've had 2 feasibility type booklets that we actually completed as a commission. So I'm kind of proud of that, knowing that we've got them done. And I'm even more proud that we actually have a rec center. That was a goal for a very long time that all of us had on the
It was a
board.
pipe dream for a long time.
Yeah, it was on the wish list for a very long time, and I'm very excited it actually happened. And I'm also very happy that we have figured out a way to get a new beautiful park in Lufkin Park to take space. I will continue to work to get a new swimming pool. That is still my goal, that we will get a new swimming pool in Villa Park. So I will continue on figuring out a way with Rockin' Park, wherever we go. That is a goal that I will continue being involved in. And hopefully, we'll all be here next month to do this again. But we'll see. For those that don't know it, there is a COW meeting on Monday that is just bring out the committees on what is going on at 6 o'clock. And then they will be having the second vote on their decision on Monday's meeting on the 14th. So if you want to keep update on that, that should be coming out Thursday or Friday with information on that meeting, along with supporting us getting them to pass what we need to move forward on the projects, both at Iowa and the fire stations. Is Village Hall done? The projects at Village Hall you were doing?
No.
Oh, we're still working on those. Besides the elevator, I mean, are there still more
Correct,
projects?
yeah, they're still not completed now.
And the police station too, correct?
Police station, we have the proposal for the one, but we're reviewing another proposal now. They want a choice between directions, so.
Okay, so we still have, your group still has a project on Village Hall and the police station going on,
Yep.
along with Iowa and,
We're all over.
you're always moving. Hopefully get all put in order for you. That's my report. Village Listen, we're glad you joined us. I hope you got your son fed and all that good stuff.
Yeah, apologies for leaving. So two things. Number one, thank you everyone for your time, just your time. Volunteers, I say it, I'll say it again, at the cornerstone of every community. I volunteered on this commission for 8 years, the last 2 years as a liaison, and I would do it again and again and again. The amount of work that we've done with the staff, the amount of big wins that we've had are endless. They have they've impacted everyone in Villa Park. So time, thank you for volunteering, appreciate it. Cheryl kind of touched on it earlier. On Monday, we have a committee of the whole meeting where we're having discussion on an ordinance that will dissolve this advisory commission along with every other commission in Villa Park. So if you guys have email you want to send in support or whatever you would like, by all means you can do that, since you guys are also residents of Villa Park. We're not going to be voting on it on Monday during our regular village board meeting. So last meeting it was up for a first reading. There was a tremendous amount of opposition or community engagement that came through. So we pushed it to a COW meeting, the committee of the whole meeting. We'll discuss it, and then depending on what happens there, it'll be on the next agenda. So at least 2 more meetings where it'll be discussed. I plan on having all my talking points and everything like that for Monday as to why a clear cut of all the commissions is not quite feasible. There's a lot of people that are going to be out of volunteer positions, and again, we shouldn't be doing that to the volunteers. So there's more to go. There's more to work on. But overall, I just want to thank everyone for their time and their commitment and their engagement in the community. So that's it.
Village staff comments?
I think I talked enough tonight, so I'm good.
Well, we're glad you clarified everything for us.
No,
Thank you for-
I'm happy that I could do that.
Thank you for doing that. We
Certainly.
sometimes need clarification on what's going behind the scenes, so thank you for doing that. Brian?
Well, yeah, if this happens to be our last meeting, I appreciate everything that everyone's done and all the time we've spent together, and hopefully I continue to see everyone around at everything else, but thank you for everything.
You're hoping.
Oh, I just wanted to say one more thing.
Go ahead, Michael.
With whatever happens, I enjoyed my time with all of you.
Hey, if there's nothing else that needs to be brought up, somebody want to take it for adjournment?
Yeah, I'll make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second it.
And we got a second, and we have been adjourned at, what is it, 8?
Do we have to vote?
28.
Do we have
Yes,
to
we
say
do have
aye?
to vote, yes. Sorry, thank you, Michael. Any ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Then I guess we have an adjournment at 8:28.